So hello Pat, good afternoon.
You're very welcome to my garden.
Thank you very much, and what a fabulous day we've got.
It's a fabulous day, and I'm the most dreadful show-off about my garden, so I'm very pleased to have two visitors who haven't seen it before.
Oh, we can't wait. Oh,
Max, stop it.
that's Max down there.
That's Max.
Yeah.
He's not really my dog.
Oh, really? So, lead the way. Let's see it.
That's a nice geranium that I think might be called Can, Khan. I've had it for many years, and it's sort of bigger flowered than a lot of the other ones.
So this is a beautiful fern. What is this, Pat?
That's Triopteris cristata, the king.
Lovely.
This is a good garden for ferns because it's a very shady garden most of the time, and the hydrangeas do very well for me, and all the ferns do very well. Now that might be strawberry field.
So Deutzia strawberry fields.
It might be.
Very nice. So Pat, this is unusual. This is a cornus, is it?
Cornus innocence. And I'd seen it on one of the hardy plant evening visits years ago, and I had to search for it for 4 years to find it.
4 years.
4 years before I found it.
Well worth it.
It is.
This is another Deutzia, Pat.
It
Is this, what is this one? Pride of Rochester,
Pride
perhaps?
of Rochester.
Okay.
Yes.
And
But
that's,
it's a really good grower.
this is Euphorbia pasteurei,
Yes.
which goes very nicely, doesn't it, with the
It
Deutzia?
does. It does.
Beautiful. How long have you been here?
Well, it must be very nearly 50 years.
50 years. Wow, that's a bit of
In the
time
making.
to get to know the garden and what it likes.
Well, I used to keep it weed-free. It's not weed-free anymore.
I hadn't noticed any.
Well,
yeah.
I used to have a beautiful urn up there, and some baddies came in and stole it.
So this is a replacement
So this
urn?
is a replacement,
How would
but
they
it's not
know?
as good as the original.
Lots of nice little nooks.
I'm not a sitter in the garden. Too much to do. My pleasure's in the doing.
So the seats are all for other people. Okay. Sambuca black lace.
It is. It is. It's always a good doer. I have it in the front as well.
In the right way.
This old shed. I could afford a new one, but I doubt how I could get that one out and the ivy growing back up again. So you hardly notice it when you walk past.
It's a proper old shed.
It is.
So you've still got things in it, or is it just completely...
No, there's all sorts in it. Well, the lawnmower lives in there.
Okay.
But I don't do the
All right, very
cutting
wise.
anymore. If somebody comes in, and I like to think that I could cut better in my day. But there'd be a lot of Friday nights you wouldn't feel like taking the machine out of the shed and getting it going, so I'd rather have somebody do it for me.
Well, I think that looks like a very proper garden shed. You couldn't buy one of those at B&Q.
Then is a filler, and I gave a bit to Denise Dyson, and then I rang her and told her take it out because it grows too wildly.
Oh, looks good to me. So it's Persicaria, do you know what? No. Just a big beast.
A big beast.
What's this one?
I think it's just the plainest, most ordinary one you could get. I've never even thought of its name for a long time.
That's beautiful though, isn't it?
Well, it is. It is. I like the colour.
The what?
It's a sorbiflora.
Oh, I don't know. Sorbiflora.
Sorbiflora Sam. It needs a lot of water, but it's close enough to the tub for me to give it water now and again. It's nice. It's so elegant.
So when you stop being chair of the group, this clematis arch is where the money went.
That's where it went.
Money well spent.
I think so.
Other people, gin, whiskey, but no, a permanent reminder. Say it again. This is the difference
Between the rail thing over there,
Uh-huh.
and this is just as cheap plastic as you can get from Aldi. But I thought I'll stick it in there and something will climb up it.
Your plants obviously prefer the
real
genuine
thing.
article,
Yes,
don't they?
yes. And I love this Rosa mutabilis. I think it looks lovely there.
So Rosa mutabilis,
Yes.
that's very nice.
And it really will keep the odd flower into December.
Will it?
Yeah.
So, your favourite plant in the garden,
Yeah.
here it is.
Deutzia sechuanensis.
Beautiful.
And it's very hard to propagate, but I did get one bit propagated and it's grown further up the garden. But it flowers much later than the ordinary Deutzias.
How did you do it with the cutting?
No, I bought the first one, but then I got a
Yeah,
cutting
yeah,
to do the second
yeah.
one.
Okay. Oh, that's beautiful. How long does it flower for?
Well, it doesn't flower until July, and you get a good 4 weeks out of it, and they look very starry. Robin Lane Fox, he praises it as the best Deutzia he knows.
That's lovely. So those are just the buds, really.
Those are just the
isn't it?
buds starting, and I think it'll be July. Well,
Right.
we're nearly into July now.
Yes, not far off.
And it just goes on and on. That's Abraham Darby,
Oh,
and it needs to be planted where you could tie it up all the time. It's too heavy, you know.
right.
It's,
Is that David Austin rose?
I don't know where I got it from. All I know is that it's Abraham Darby.
Yeah, so this is a
Melianthus major.
very nice.
And
That
when I
got a lot
grew,
bigger than that.
when I grew my first one, it was troublesome to keep it, but that's very well established now, and it has to be hacked back later on pretty severely.
It would go up right past the windows, will it?
It would. It would, way up there.
It's
Tilly Peroni, Lathyrus Tilly Peroni. And it's quite unusual, and I've often had people in the garden that fancied it and, you know, would be glad. Oh, now, I've forgotten the name of this. You can tell me the name of that. Pat
sure I
Inman
can.
gave it to me. And
Right.
she'll tell me if I can't remember it.
So it's a beautiful courtyard here, Pat.
It is.
So you just get the sun for a little while every day.
Just enough to keep things doing in it, but by and large it's shaded.
Lovely complementary textures and green shades. It's very nice.
It is nice. I used to mind the library up at Harrogate,
Yeah.
and the lady who was up there, all the helpers would say to her, nobody ever comes to take a book out. And she'd say, well, you can always do a bit of dusting. Well, now, if I think I'm not dusting in my own house, I certainly wasn't going up to Harrogate. But I saw this book about gardens by Roddy Llewellyn, you know, Princess Margaret's beau, and there was a picture in it a bit like this. So I go to the fella that does all the, you know, the heavy stuff for me, and he said yes, I could have one of those.
Excellent.
And he put in the extra little bit of trellising there, and really it's worked very nicely.
Tell me about this.
Well, it was, my daughter said to me years ago, had I any nice pictures of the garden, because there was a competition on, and I said, yes, somebody's just taken some pictures. And then it turned out to be for the Daily Mail. And, you know, they shortlisted me. And I made the most sickening little bits that I could about how I wanted all my grandchildren to remember Granny in the garden. Sickening, but it was what they wanted. And eventually they came and judged the garden, and then I was shortlisted and went down to Hampton Court, and I felt like nudging people and saying, "That's my garden." And eventually,
fantastic.
Eventually, it came good.
Very nice. And the perfect place to put the sign.
I'm very proud of that. Yeah, that's Pusidanum. Judith Latley put me onto that
Is
one.
it? Goodness. Wow.
And it's nice.
Imagine this area is quite good for keeping the slugs away, isn't it?
Well, I have to pellet everything, but I know the way slugs think, and I know they'll be coming down the walls on a wet night, you know, and I come out.
Oh, you come out and catch
Chop
them
'em.
in the act.
Yes, I do. I do.
You just chop them up.
Yes, and this is the Tropiolum speciosum,
All right,
which is
yes.
lovely.
There it is, in flower already.
It has lovely blue seeds, sort of turquoise seeds, but you need to let them drop into a pot and do it themselves. And I think if you buy it, you need to buy 2-litre pot of it to get it going.
That's interesting.
If you would just try and, you know, move one little seedling, it doesn't.
Is this Hydrangea quercifolia?
It is.
Ah.
I have a couple of those. My son lives in Atlanta, in Georgia, and it was growing like a weed over there. And Helen Dillon stayed here once when she was over to speak at a conference, and she said it needs a lot more sun than most hydrangeas. So I think she was right about that.
So it doesn't flower all that often. Got some buds on it here there.
Oh yes, it'll have some flowers. But did you see that mark on the leaves? I get that every year, and I don't know what it is. So I have to take
Neither
them
do I.
off. I've just had these steps put in. And I think it looks good.
It looks lovely. Yes, and the proper thing for steps is to put pots on them.
I think
That's
so.
what they're
It
for.
kind of calls out for it. So I tried to remember to pour quite a bit of water on it.
And what was the name of that again?
Chiastophyllum
Wow.
oppositifolium.
Chiastophyllum oppositifolium.
Yes.
That's a new one on me.
Can't wait for more of this to come out. That allium.
That's beautiful. Do you know which one it is?
I do if I think about it for a while. I think it's called Millennium.
Millennium. Okay, that's nice. And this is the same thing in bud here.
Yes. Yes, indeed, that's Prince Charles.
Prince Charles.
And it's always very floriferous.
Aye.
This is the most lovely peony. And it's nearly the size of a dinner plate with a yellow centre, pure white yellow centre. Now, it's this kind of one of the stars of the garden, but if it rains on it, the white petals are brown the next day, and you have to wait another year, but it's really gorgeous.
Was the wall at the bottom part of the garden when you moved in, or did you?
Well, I bought the garden separately, or my mother bought it for me, and you know, it was waist deep in weeds of every sort.
Right.
And the garden had originally belonged to the house up there, and they retained the ownership of the wall and said any time it needed mending, they'd come down and mend it. And the big half moon in it did have to be mended a few years ago. And two old boys, two brothers, one of them was 83, and they were lifting these big stones, and they did a lovely job on it. No, I've been very lucky with the garden there.
Mm.
Yeah.
So all that weed clearing, you did all that, and
Yes.
the whole lot, start to finish.
I like weeding, yes.
You like weeding?
I do.
Okay.
I mean, you wouldn't think it now, but I used to keep it weed-free.
I haven't seen a weed.
Oh, yes.
No, I haven't seen any.
Well, you know, every time you buy a plant, it comes with bitter cress
Hairy bitter cress, oh yes.
So I have a lot of bitter cress now.
I used to have hairy bitter cress wars.
Right,
Yeah.
right, yes. It's just the way of it.
Yeah, so I have to send Lynn out to clear the bitter cress. She doesn't always go though.